Hello, everyone.
Mhm.
Give me one sec. All right. How's everyone doing? How you doing, Turvy?
I am feeling under the weather, but
I'm sorry to hear
okay.
that. You feeling sick?
Yeah, and I fell off the ladder the other day, so
Oh,
yeah.
you fell off a ladder?
I tried to put on the Christmas lights at home, and I fell probably around 3, 4 feet. So yeah, I can't walk much, and I think I'm having fever. So yeah,
Oh, I'm
yeah.
sorry to hear that.
Oh, good.
Jardine, how are you doing?
I'm also a bit off, but it's the menstrual cramps, which do not really happen. So it's kind of um unusual that I have it now.
Fair enough. Eve, what terrible plague besets thee to complete this triumvirate of three evils?
For me, I'm doing well so
Can't
far.
say that so far.
So far.
All right. With that, let's dive in. Um, All right. So number of open roles per division. So we're just focusing on 2XU. That's good to know. Um, 2XU creative marketing admin for Feng Feng. By the way, Feng Feng, this is a replacement role, is it?
Oh,
No, this is a new role.
the new role up until now, we Fang
Okay,
Fang did not approve all of. We have actually endorsed around 5 candidates already, all failed.
got it. 2XU marketing management EA for Iona Hardy. One review, client review, internal candidate. Okay, that's cool. So it's basically someone on our bench.
Yes, there is this one client, Ryan Etheridge. He is not renewing his contract, and Angelica Geiger is a good EA. So yeah, fit for the role. So yeah, they forwarded the profile to Joanna already, but Joanna did not send her update yet.
Okay, that's good to hear. All right, next, 2XU. What's RSM?
Oh, the VA manager or the Rhea success manager.
Okay, got it. All right, and then there's no Stillwater. Um, Was there going to be an update from Eve showing where the candidates have come from in the last week or month?
Oh, that's my bad. I'm supposed to include that. Yes. The source,
Eve, did you
the
provide that? Did
sourcing.
you already make that report or not yet?
Yeah, I did the October already, Shervs. Yeah.
Sorry, it's really my bad. Hang on, let me give the link.
I'm imagining that would go something like here or something like that.
Okay.
Mm. Sourcing analytics. Yes.
Were you posting it
I will send you the link
in
in
the
a
Zoom
little
chat?
while. Okay.
Okay,
Yes, yes.
cool.
There's a
Thank you. This is great. So this is October 10th through the 24th. So basically not all of October or what?
For that part, I was not able to update that sheet, but the other sheet was updated.
Where do which one? This one here or
That
this?
one.
This
Yes.
one. Got it. So there's been a big increase in social media applicants. That's interesting to see. It went up from 74 to 130. The My Nemo is kind of the same. How are we getting roles from Job Street?
I think some candidates would just input job street if they forgot
Okay. Yeah.
to
Yeah, that makes sense. If they forget with a job ad. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Um, good guess. Good guess. Um, is Indeed where it was before? 'Cause I remember for a while we used to get a lot more. Here we get almost nothing. 114, 324. Do we know what happened in July? Why we got so many roles from Indeed? That's kind of surprising.
Let me double check. July. We have launched a lot of openings for 2XU starting June, mid June. We launched one, two, three, four, five open positions. Maybe that's why.
Recently, Indeed's been about 50% of my Nemo. 50%. But here it matches my Nemo. And even after that, it's like half of my Nemo. So I'm not so much confused why it had such a big increase, more confused why its ratio is our dominating compared to the others.
Hmm.
And maybe there's something we can do to replicate the result again. Does it cost money to post jobs on Indeed?
Nope.
Maybe we should be split testing more versions of the same JD on Indeed over and over again.
I'm curious because I don't really open Indeed that much. Have you guys noticed if we have limit a number of posting for Indeed, or we can just post regardless of the number of job ads?
So far, Miss George, there's no limit with Indeed.
Okay, okay.
But
Thanks.
if to add, they will let us wait for a few days before they will post the position. I think it's still for review. So yeah, it's not 100% um assurance that they will post our job ad.
Which might also make it harder to post multiple of the same type, I'm guessing.
Yes.
I think there's still ways you can post the same JD, just make it look like it's different, but the reality is both are for the same candidate, you know. This
Mhm.
is for a business development representative. This is for a strategic salesman. This is for a head of strategy and partnerships. Like technically you would say there are three separate roles, but you could say the same person who applied to one would be valid for the other. Um, so that's worth thinking. Maybe it's worth a sprint this week. Maybe we can try this week just to. I'm guessing we have one Indeed job ad for each open role, at least for the three priority roles.
Yes, we do have. We also launched all of our split JDs in Indeed. So yeah.
So maybe it's worth just doing it. Just do it again. See, basically, see,
Yeah.
like in the past, Indeed last month was 1/5. Before that, it was about 1/5. Before that, it was about one half. What am I saying? One half. I'm saying one half compared to our biggest. Right? It was half of
Mm.
our biggest. It was a quarter of our biggest. A quarter of our biggest. And here it was basically the same size as our biggest. And before that, it was also kind of basically the same size as our biggest. So like, and here it was bigger, but I don't think that counts. So like, I do feel like there's something to be mined from Indeed in terms of its potential versus our current results. Here's a question. Do we post on LinkedIn ads? Sorry, LinkedIn job posts?
We only posted not the ads because it is paid. We we share the job ad poster in our LinkedIn page.
It'd be interesting to look into posting a LinkedIn job post. I know that there's some trials out there that you post like a job for free, I believe. I remember that from like a Tim
Mhm.
Ferriss sponsorship. I would
Mhm.
like to test it out.
We have actually tried that.
Okay.
When we had the Verve opening, I
Mm.
I have
Okay.
utilized the free postings for Verve, and yeah, and it's
I'd say we
already it
I'd
has
say we
been
should try
installed.
for 2XU, especially because it's a remote job.
Mhm.
I think we could get a lot of results from that.
Yeah, probably I would ask Karen. Probably she can, since I think she haven't used it yet. But yeah, it's very well known. Okay.
Okay. So in the next sprint, do we think that we can investigate Indeed?
Yes, yes.
All right, and LinkedIn job post. Okay, cool. Eve, even if it's not the end of the month, next
Yeah.
week, do you think you can try to fill it in? Just just add anyone.
Yeah, I think I can do that. I think end of week maybe so that it will be too much with the data.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I could imagine that. All right, cool. So that's it for the invisible Eve section. Stillwater updates. Great work, everyone. Fen and Buster LinkedIn updates. All are routed for Lona and Charles Bush needs. Oh, Iona and Charles Bush. Cool. The complete rate of our recruitment webinar is now on 60%. That's really cool. Is there anything here to discuss?
Um, if you would like to take a look at our recruitment webinar, we have actually uh, decided on the flow of the event as well as the segments. So yeah, everything is there. Um, it's solely how do I call that? Right now we are informing AJ, Miss Lee, and Fanny on their segment, and we are on our way to creating the material, the presentation material.
That's cool to hear.
And then probably we will meet with them if everything is already okay. Since it's almost December and the launch date will be January, and probably we will target to market to advertise um the recruitment webinar by December.
Yeah, let's let her rip. I know a lot of people do this successfully, even with very little budget, and I think that we're taking it really seriously. I really like to see the progress. Um, the recruitment team will be helping Jardine with upcoming year-end regroup. Okay. Anything there to discuss, Jardine?
All good. Tomorrow we will also have an in-depth discussion on the different parts that they will be taking.
Okay, cool to hear. Typewriter Pub scorecard. E filled out a conversion rate based on recent graphic artist job posting. Stage in the funnel is different compared to XU and Valhalla. It did not capture the correct answer based on manual computation. The final score sheet did not auto-populate the changes well. Okay. So basically this is busted right now.
Mhm. I think so. We have we have filled in the conversion rates. I mean, Eve actually can filled it in all of the conversion rates, and then we have noticed that the score is not the right score. It's eight. Yeah, this is eight something. When we manually computed it, it's actually different. So yeah.
Um, so we replaced 68% with 0.053%. Did you mean
This
we'd
is
write down 5%? Like 50%?
the replacement. This is as what I have understood. Neil just copied the 0.68 is from the weighted average from Valhalla, and then
Okay, okay.
it's
So
really not
let me just do a
the.
zoom out. I'm gonna
Mhm,
interrupt and just do a zoom out. We think this number is wrong, right?
mhm,
Okay. So there's nothing wrong mathematically with this number. The reason why it's so high is that these conversion rates are so low.
mhm,
Um, so this is saying that 1 out of 20 people pass. This is saying 1 out of 25 people pass. This is saying 1 out of 33 people pass. This is saying 1 out of 33 people pass. 1 out of 33 people pass. 1 out of 50 people pass. 1 out of 100 people pass. Each one of those is the conversion rate from the one before. So therefore, we would have to get we would have to get 841 billion people to apply before we could fill a role. So because just take the very first one. This is 1 out of 20 people pass. This is 1 out of 25 people pass, which means we would need to get just to get past this one thing, we would need to get 500 people to apply on this one conversion rate. So what I think happened, because remember, these numbers here, you're responsible for. You're responsible for these numbers. This is your best guess on the conversion rate from the previous step. Like this is the conversion rate for this step only, basically. It's not the conversion. What I think happened is you guys said, well, 1% of applicants get hired. But that's not how this works. This is 1% of people go from past client interview to hired. It's 1% of this one step. It's not 1% since the beginning.
what we actually did, Derek, is we Eve based it on the actual number of hires in CWT. But yeah, let's
Some
say
mistake was made because it cannot be based off the actual numbers because we actually
mm,
hired somebody without 8 billion people applying.
that is understood.
Eve, so you were the one that proposed these numbers, Eve, or
Yes, I was the one who did the conversion rate, but yeah, I think I found the mistake. Why is it like that? Because I based the 100% from the very first stage, and
got it.
then
Yeah.
yeah.
So we're expecting this number to basically be 100 essentially because it's going to be the inverse of this one. So we're expecting this to be about 100. But we don't know. But yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So then this alone become 0.5. Yeah, this yeah. Yeah. So okay. So then Eve and Shirley, can you work on that part?
Yes, we will.
All right. So the final score sheet did not auto-populate changes as well. So let's take this one at a time. Fill out the conversion rate based on the recent graphic artist job postings. Stages in the funnel differing compared to 2XU and Valhalla. That's expected. We're expecting different conversion rates and a different number of steps. All good on that?
But if maybe ask, can we change the title or the heading? If you will go back to the scorecard, uh, say for the past advanced interviews or uh past advanced interviews, the final interview already, and in the past
Oh,
time
the
interview,
V?
there's no. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
you can
Can
change
we
that.
change that?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
there.
This doesn't change any of the code. You can remove that and everything else stays the same. Wait, oh wait, does it?
Yes, we
Oh, sorry.
are a bit scared. Maybe it might affect the automation
Well, remember,
formulas.
Control Z is always your friend. Yeah. So none of these get used anywhere, and it wouldn't affect the automations. So the automations, the thing that affects the automation is, well, actually, let me think. No, this system, there's no automation that runs off of this page except for other Google Sheets, and Google Sheets are more adaptive than that. So there's gonna be no problems. Feel free to change the titles. Don't change these numbers, I guess. I guess if you change those numbers, then stuff breaks. But Control Z is your friend. That's literally why we have Control Z. So just Control Z if you break something. And then, but these titles, no problems. Just change them however you want.
Okay.
So is that it for number 2?
Yes, yes.
All right. Number 3, is this now answered?
Yes, it is.
All right. The final score sheet did not auto-populate the changes as well. What's that mean?
If you could go back, the final score sheet here, down below.
Is that because
Did not give the correct. Oh, yes.
sorry, Sherby, can you talk a little bit louder? I didn't hear what you
I'm
said.
sorry. There's the score is not showing here.
Okay.
Mhm.
From Tyrell Republic. That's probably because it's so low. That's probably just the same problem. So if I take this, this is gonna be so silly. Let's be silly. All right. Nope, still not there. Should have been there by now. Or doesn't expand any further. Um. Um.
Or perhaps can we change the weighted average just very quick, just to check if it did a change. Yeah, if it made changes in the final score sheet.
You mean you want to adjust the priority focus?
The conversion rate in the TWP weighted average, probably just create the conversion rate that's not too low, and then perhaps check if it's really working. Can you do that very fast?
Yeah, that should fix it. You also have to update the typer. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, but the other problem is it's just not reading from it at all. Hold on a sec. Um. So Eve, this is good for you to understand. So let's just take this one step at a time. Now that I kind of seeing it. Okay. So the question is basically why is this 0, right? Um, that is the question that Sherby posed, right? This number should not be 0. So we can take it on that just most basic of basic levels. So then we can take, okay, well, how is the number calculated? Well, the number is calculated by multiplying the priority focus and the score target. Fundamentally, like that's what's going on here. It's multiplying the score target times priority focus. Make sense, Eve?
Yep.
So, well, the priority focus is 0, but you can change this however you want. That doesn't break. Well, I mean, you can change the letters that break stuff, but like it's not a thing. So that's something you change manually. I think you change it
From the
some.
open priority rows.
Okay, yeah, you change on the other column, I guess. But Yeah, you change on the other column, but ultimately you still change that manually. So that's not a problem. But obviously, 0 times 0 is going to equal 0. So it's no wonder that this shit is 0. It's just like, okay, well, that's expected. That's not a problem. However, if we look at this, then it's like, well, why is this blank? Should that be blank? I don't know if that's supposed to be blank. So we go here and we say, okay, well, why is this blank, but this isn't? And that's where the problem is. Then we ask ourselves, well, what is this doing? This is just stealing from Valhalla weighted average. So if I go to Valhalla weighted average, what is it stealing from? It's stealing from, what was it? It was AD. It's stealing from AD. Okay, cool. Shrug, not a problem. So we should, which AD is the actual score over weekly goal. So let's just take that exact same thing, but now take it from typewriter pub, right? So now I'm just going to take the exact same formula and now we're going to add that in. We're going to say AD and go here. AD, that's the right one. Okay, are we done? Well, there's one more step. I'll give you a second to think. I don't know if you're going to be able to figure it out, but I'm curious if you can. What's one more thing that we should double check before we say this is already working?
Mm.
I'll give you a hint. We just now checked to make sure that on the x-axis, it's aligned properly. We said, okay, it goes here and it's coming from the right column. So if we figured out it's on the right column, what would be the next thing to check? Cry uncle? Eve?
Yes. Yeah, I cannot find the next step.
No worries, no worries. So the next step would be, this is drawing from AD 28. So why 28? I don't know. If we look at 28 here, 28 corresponds to 226 3 over 3. 226 3 over 3, which sure enough is the same thing here. 226 3 over 3. So does that match here? I don't know. Does it? Typewriter pub? It does. All right, cool. That's the last thing you should double check. So now I can be pretty confident it's just working. So this 0.069112, if I go back to typewriter pub, 0.069112, 85811, 85811. Yeah, it's just working now. So now we can ask ourselves why. So when did we hire the graphic artist? What week?
Oh, we hired them officially this week. Then last Friday was the job offer.
Perfect. So that would be. Oh, but I don't see any ones here.
Yeah.
Got it. D H V X Z A B A D. I don't know. So they come from Automagic, Typewriter Pub. So these columns look like they're blank when they're not supposed to be blank. So let's see what they're supposed to be drawing on. So this is Automagic Typewriter Pub Feeder. Where's the Automagic Typewriter Pub Feeder? This one. So new submission from jot form corresponds to new submission from jot form. So that's D. This one's H. Why is that H? This is for handshake. This is for handshake. So it's H. Okay, so H is H. This is X, receive test. This is handshake done. Oh wait, are we skipping handshake done?
Yes.
All right, so we're skipping that step. So that leaves straight to, so we have to skip all this stuff. Go just a typewriter pub one. Send skills test, so that would be AQ. Because this would be, the equivalent would be, typewriter pub that. So then this would become typewriter pub AQ. And you have to take that formula and you have to paste it to the very bottom. Oops. I don't want to make it that color. Can I just make this shit into array formulas? I better not for now. I'll just leave it alone. So that comes from AQ, right? Because AQ 30 comes from AQ typewriter pub skills sent skills test, right? And the 30 corresponds to 226.33, which is correct here, 226.33. So then I take that and I just paste it downward so it goes in the very bottom, and I just do the next one and the next one and the next one. So that's what the thing you gotta do. You gotta go through and just make sure that these correspond to what you're expecting. I am a little bit annoyed though that these aren't array formulas. I wonder if you can just do an array formula. Array formula D through D all the way to the very bottom. Is this gonna work? That should pop up as a ref error. One sec. I hate this part. All I'm doing here is I'm just instead of having to copy and paste the same thing over and over again down, I'm seeing if I can just replace it with an array formula. So you just do it once, then everything below it gets filled in automatically. There we go. Fucking A. So, Eve, as you're changing, or Shervy, or both of you guys, as you're changing these column headers, just change these below them into array formulas, also drawing from the right columns from the automatic feeder. Which, by the way, since this is just for typewriter pub, I would recommend hiding those columns we don't use. Just hide the columns we don't use. So we're not using passive anymore, right? I'm not asking a rhetorical question. We're not using passive anymore, right?
No, we're not using it anymore.
All right. So just hide those columns so it's easy to navigate. Just hide all the columns you don't need, and then you're done. Set these up so that they correspond and Just use it like the array formula here, and that fixes it.
Okay.
Eve, are you comfortable doing that?
Yep, I'd like to explore on that.
Okay. Um, just remember, Control Z is your friend. If it's not doing what you think, if it's not fixing, just Control Z all the way back to the beginning and start over again. All right, and I think we're done.